Testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. It's that time, y'all.
Swag, cold as a stranger from Pennsylvania, chilling in the W where they live famous, throwing up the Franklins, showing that I'm living. Already acting like I'm worth 20 million. Shaking off these haters like snow from my boots. Champagne bottles and all white suits. Show up out of town in all white boots. Feeling like this shit cause it's alright too. Government scandal put the state on trial. DAs and judges are the criminals now. The whole judicial branch is a fucking cash cow, so they gon' have to take me out before I take them all down. This is bad season. This is hard time. If we in it for a P, then we in it for a pound. Trolling online like you a bunch of gangsters. Meet us at the Coliseum, real entertaining. It's like with my feet up. Fuck some new sneakers. I rule my own empire. Julius, other hero, some third dimension. The crew that I fuck with. Stop trying to hide. Let's do this in public.
Yeah. That's that song Cold with me and my man, my little brother, my homie, Slim Reeks, aka Latif Cameron. It's Taibu Muad'Dib right here with You're a Mess. We going so hard. I'm over here live on Facebook real quick just to give y'all a small taste of what we got going on here on Think It Through Thursday. Think It Through Thursday. And I put the whole topic out there. You guys all know what it is. Join me live. Let's go crazy. I walked y'all into the house with me, man. You know what it is. Shout out to Christy Killing, everybody over there on Facebook. Shout out to China Gray and everybody over there on Instagram. It's going down. So I'm not gonna stand here long. I'm Instagram folks know I'm in the house. Join me over here on YouTube. That's where it's happening. That's where all the fun's going. So it's going on tonight, man. We got a hot show for you tonight. This is what I do. I do not borrow none. I built up hundreds and hundreds of followers on Instagram and on Facebook based off of You're a Mess, now a reality TV show. I got a good team behind me. I'm just pushing through, pushing forward. I want y'all to come with me. So come on over here to YouTube and have a good time. Have a good time. It is what it is. The bottom line is, I know for a fact, um, I feel like so many people have their own mind made up about what they want, that when what they want comes along, then they're confused. They don't have their mind's not made up anymore. Like you said you wanted this, but then you have it, and then now what? So that's why I have a relationship podcast, You're a Mess, because I want us to have a norm. I want us to have something we can all agree upon is good. If we can't agree upon what's good, how will any of us ever find it, people? Now, as a hybridized relationship consultant, we're gonna get into that. I intimate and I promote that we should have hybrid relationships because of our fractured past, our fractured current situations. The fact that we cannot change overnight what we got going on, we cannot change uh, what's happening in our lives. We can't change that. All I know is what we can do is affect the way that we do what we do to each other now. And so this month, in honor of that, I'm looking to see if we can come together and make a definition up for what uh, a good man is. What a good man is. And when people think about what a good man is, like this is where it's at, right? So you already know what a good man is. We can talk about that, but I want you all to know right now, like at the end of the day is over. Nah, I'm messing with y'all. Like I like that though. Shout out to John Wright, my son in Madison, Wisconsin. Can't wait to get him down here and rock with me. Uh, Shout out to John Wright, my father, who's also in Madison, Wisconsin. Can't wait for them to come back down and spend some time with me. They're two really exciting guys. I love them both dearly. I'm glad that they're both still in my life. tonight on Thinking Through Thursday, uh, we had the opportunity to do, you know, different things. We have the opportunity to do some special stuff, right? So I'm just excited about what I can actually accomplish with this podcast. And you know how it always is. When you go to look for something, you can never seem to find it, right? I swear, like I'm on here all the time, and like when I look for something, I want to find it. Like, where is it at? That's why I'm looking over here. I'm just really scrolling through my list. Like I sent out, I actually sent out different I actually sent out different messages to people, and I'm like, let's go. But will it be what it's supposed to be? Nope. I ain't gonna find it tonight right now, y'all. We got 5 minutes of fire coming up, man. Hopefully followed by the right or wrong segment. The no joke, the I ain't no joke right or wrong segment with Shay, and we will go from there. I'm telling you right now, it is difficult sometimes to be exactly what people want you to be, but sometimes it's the right thing to do. Sometimes you need to be the bigger person. Sometimes you need to be the person that's the stronger person or the person that simply walks away. All right. So let's keep that in mind, people. Next week, coming up next week, as far as announcements is concerned, we're going to talk about taking the good with the bad. We're going to talk about that and see what's going on with that. How do you take the good with the bad? How do you make the most of the relationship that you have? So many of us are walking out too soon on relationships that could last. We're gonna get a chance to get Zaza and his now wife of 1 year, but they were together, 14 before they got married. We're gonna get a chance to talk to them and pick their brains about how they stuck it through, how they took the good with the bad, and made it to where they can have a great relationship, beautiful children, a loving marriage. It's an awesome story. So y'all stay tuned for that. But yeah, next week I'm gonna teach on how to accept. I can't say take, but how to accept the good in someone that you're with the bad. All right, to keep that relationship strong, especially if you have a child with somebody. That child deserves to have their mom and their dad at home. I've had an argument plenty of times with my baby mamas. Look, our child deserves to have that their mom and their dad. Like you can be with somebody, but they have the right to feel like, hey, I want my dad in my life. If he wants to be in my life now, shout out to all the men out there that want to be in their kid's life, even the baby mama's not with it or not. You know what I'm saying? You want to be there and the kid wants you there, so y'all got to work that thing out. That's why I have the podcast. All right. Um, because there are plenty of women and men out there that don't have nothing to do with their kids. Women and men, trust me. So it's going down tonight, man. I'm just trying to get to a place where I can really look it on my phone. What, if anything, if I can find out what the topic for tonight is. I've been messaging out to so many people. I'm looking for it and I can't find it, and it's crazy, but still a good thing. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I have actually a topic list, but it's so robust. I don't want to go through all them different topics just to see if I can find um, the one for tonight. But I might have to do it, y'all. I might have to go all the way through my little list and just see if I can find out where it's at, because I know for a fact you can only watch my podcast tonight. What's the topic? And last night I was doing the same thing. I was already sending out people information on what it really comes down to. Like, this is what I want. I want y'all to get involved. So I'm gonna go over here to my guest topic list, and we're gonna see. All right. So let me go down, talk, and find out which one it is. I really don't want to have to do that. Um, think it through Thursday. Think it through Thursday. What is it? Okay. I believe the topic for tonight is, why do men have more children than they can afford? I believe that's the topic for tonight. And it's a deep one, so we're gonna have to get off into that thing, man, and get that cracking. But why do men have more children than they can afford? This is Thinking Through Thursday. And Thinking Through Thursday basically is that's why I believe that's the one that it is. Thinking Through Thursday is the day that I really get deep, all right, into um, tonight's topic. Why do men have more children they can afford? So that's definitely uh what's on the menu. Let's get that cracking. Let's go more. We'll put that out there right now. Just to get it out there so everybody can see it. Why do men have more children than they can afford? And that's just, man, that's just, I'm just speaking the gospel, you know, just speaking the gospel, man. The God's honest truth. Men can't take care of children. Oops. I didn't spell that right. Tap in. I'm doing so much stuff so quickly. All right. I'm live right now. Tap in. Why do men have more children than they can afford? Let's go with that. We're going to get that post out there, get that going. We're going to edit this post to reflect the same thing. All right. Just to get folks going over there. We're going to follow this link. We're going to get it popping the right way, man. All right. We over here on the gram. It goes down. All right. We live and in living color, man. I got so much stuff going, and I'm so happy to have everybody in here tonight. Um, I don't really wait for people to jump on the show. I invite folks. If they come on, they do. If not, I still got a lot of content, a lot of stuff I got going on with you guys. So trust and believe that this is how it goes. Oh, definitely gonna edit that one. Yeah. Let's see. Let's definitely edit this one. That makes no sense at all. Okay. Yeah. That just put something on there. I don't even know how that got on there. There we go. All right. So, if I may be so bold, um, is what it is. I had my man Ibrahim Harun on the show the other night. Uh, we had a pretty good show, and so what is this about? Close that. And so, what we have available to us is all that we need, y'all. All we need to do is to come together. And Ibrahim and I decided to go ahead and put together uh, this tech invention, because this tech invention is an opportunity for us all to change the way we allow the most vulnerable of us in our communities to be treated. Now, to the Europeans, every African person is vulnerable, right? So that's where we get the quote unquote Karens from. You know, the European women have understood ever since they saw their first African on American soil. They understood that we are vulnerable to them. That the powers that be uh, frown upon us and want to do us no ill will. And so they know that they can trust the powers that be to handle us roughly. I'll just put it like that if they come into contact with us. That being the case, and that being said, you have Karens that will notify and alert the authorities at the drop of a hat if they're the slightly bit irritated by an African person, right? And so it'll be similar with the Guardian gear, right? Because generally, the Guardian gear is set up to make sure that the most vulnerable of us always have coverage. They're never alone. And individuals I've talked to about sexual assault or domestic violence, I've been involved in it both ways. I was a victim of it long before I became a perpetrator of it, but I've been involved in it both ways. But what I'm saying is that usually it happens in the cover of night. Very few individuals are, committing these sexual assaults in public places, like in front of everybody. Like, look at me, I'm doing this to this person. Like, it usually happens when they feel like uh, they're not being seen, for the main reason that they can get away with it. Uh, until these camera phones came out and African people learned to use them, they don't protect us, but they show the world what's going on with us and what, European law enforcement officers. That being said, um, it's very interesting, very, very interesting that nothing has been done like this prior to this. I I say that the reason that is because the European power structure was always set up to be able to commit sexual assaults, to commit acts of violence against women and children, and not have to pay the price. In fact, once the European power structure became like almost the only world power, uh, and they had kind of set that up a long time ago, they really haven't had to pay the price for a lot of atrocities that they've committed across the globe, you know, since their ascension. Now you have to hand it to a culture of people that don't make up a large enough portion of the world to control and run it. Yet they do. They came from a very small place on the earth, went out with superior weaponry, and now have one of the bigger land masses, not the biggest, but one of the bigger land masses, full of themselves mostly. And yeah, yeah. So the European, as far as like if you think about pale skin, like they make up maybe 7 to 9% of the world's population, overall population. But because of Hollywood and media and mainstream media and the way they have set things up, you would think the whole universe had pale skin, but it doesn't. Only 7 to 9%. Y'all can Google this. Only 7 to 9% of the world's population has pale skin, right? And because Europeans descended out of the African man and woman, uh, they make people think that they were the originators of man. You see the caveman movies and stuff like that. You think that they were here first, whatever, whatnot, how things went down. But clearly that wasn't the case. Clearly it isn't the case. In fact, everything that they're doing now and they know now and that they're benefiting from now didn't just come off the African man's back as far as manual labor, but it came from his mind. People believe that Steve Jobs invented the iPhone. Now they just handed him the reins, but they had iPhones a long time ago. They dug them up in the pyramids. They're still digging stuff up in Africa and still coming out with it. They're just now realizing how to use the technology that they came into contact with when they started to conquer the cities of Africa and go in and uh, do their thing as far as like they're digging, they're mining. So they're just now using uh, these sorts of technologies because they're just now coming to understand them. Thousands of years later, they finally understand how to use it. Oh, look, we did. Steve Jobs invented. No, he didn't. He didn't. All right. But since it's here, they can claim, that it's here, that they made it fine. They can control it fine. But since it's here and we have the power of connectivity with these phones, we have to think we have a problem in our midst. What's the problem, Taibu? The problem is every hour, 48 women, actual people, every hour in this country, the best country in the world, every hour, 48 women are forcibly raped, against their will, sexually assaulted. So I'm with Ibrahim Haroon of IH Concepts out of Madison, Wisconsin. We've come together and we're going to make a push in Silicon Valley to get some angel funding and investing going for Guardian Gear. The word gear is an acronym for giving everyone a response. Again, and I'm breaking this down for you. And when you get the link, when you see the link, follow it. You get a different explanation, slightly different explanation, but more in depth and detailed explanation to give you a different picture of how it's going to work when it's out there on the shelves available for order. But the Guardian Gear is going to make sure that those who are most vulnerable of us in our communities, they're just never alone. That people won't be able to approach them, put them in a compromised situation, and then have the time to get away clean. Because that's really what it comes down to, isn't it? That's the genius of this tech wearable, is that after a person does what they do, they still have the challenge of getting away clean, getting away with it, right? So many of the men that sexually assault women, they don't have to worry about like fleeing the physical scene because the person, they make them think that, hey, no one's gonna believe you, you know, you know, you're not, it's not like you're a virgin, people already see you as somebody that's loose. All I'm gonna do is just say you wanted it. So a person doesn't even have to, act like I'm gonna threaten you or to do this to your people if you tell on none of that. They can just simply say these days, and I'm sorry, ladies, I podcast on this all the time, but if we're looking at, saying, hey, women should be able to have sex with as many men as they want to, I'm telling you, people know. So I'm not saying it's your fault that you get sexually assaulted, but if it happens and the person tells you no one's gonna, believe you if you tell, because I'm a straight up dude, you know what I'm saying? And I do well in the community. That's really what it is. I'm not saying you brought it on yourself or none of that. I'm not saying brought it on none of that. What I'm saying is that that's why I'm trying to change the culture and get the norm back to women being chaste. So if a man ever says, "Oh yeah, she wanted it," we all know that that's outside the norm. That's not, we're not even believing. We're not even trying to hear that, right? But that's the case right now. In fact, when young people, when minors claim to have been abused, especially by their parents in a sexual way, juries believe the adult. Juries believe the adult. Y'all can do y'all research. So the 48 women an hour number is low also because of what? The number is low because they can't really report statistics for minors. There's stuff and their information is different, privacy is closed off. So you can't even report that at all. So there it is. Um, Moving forward, go live right here on Instagram. What's going on? That's not what we want. Discard that. What are we doing? What are we doing? Let's go. Cancel that out. Pushing ourselves. All right. Getting right back to it. Taibu Muadi right here, man. As the young folks say, no cap. We trying to make it happen. We're gonna get to the bottom of it. Again, like I said, we're gonna bring in Shay Houston with the right or wrong segment today. The I ain't no joke right or wrong segment of the day. You know what that sounds like. We're gonna get that off in here without question. We're gonna make it happen. So when y'all hear that, you know it's going down. She's no joke. You already know what it is. We're gonna get it going. So I'm gonna leave that in limbo for when she's ready to come on and do her thing. That's her intro music. I came up with that because literally A lot of her right or wrong segments spark conversations that drive my viewers pretty crazy, and we argue and debate about it all night long, literally all night long. So I'm going to hold off on that for a second. I just want the agua. Shout out to everybody over here on YouTube. The brave people come over to YouTube first. You know, when I get a couple hundred viewers on there for my show, it's gonna be the ones and twos that gonna know that it was real. They always had respect for what I'm doing over here. The topic tonight: why do men consistently make more children than they can afford? Why do men do this? All right. So, as a father of four, right, two adult children and two children under the age of 18, I was not married when I had any of my kids. You know, that wasn't the plan. I was definitely engaged to one of my kids' moms. That wasn't the plan. Uh, at that time, I really wasn't concerned over much about, as they say, staying home for the child. I was staying there for the child, staying in a relationship, keeping her for the child's sake. We weren't staying together for that. Really isn't what's going on. That's why I am now into hybrid relationships, because see, a hybrid relationship is going to give these young people these days, right now, because things are all messed up. The hybridization of relationships will give people an opportunity to stay together longer so the child has both parents at home. So tonight, as we think this thing through, let's start from the beginning. You get with somebody and you like them, right? I'm a guy, I talk from a guy's point of view. I get with a lady and I like her, and we feel each other, it's going all good. Whether she has kids already, I have kids already or not, we make a child. We have a child together. That's when it all starts. She's pregnant. So her body is changing, her moods is changing, as they should, you know. Fellas, if you didn't know, no matter how beautiful she is before she gets pregnant by you, want her to get pregnant. When she gets pregnant, her body is going to change. It's not going to look the same while she's pregnant and after she's pregnant. Get to deal with this. If you're not mature enough to deal with that fact, then you shouldn't be trying to have kids, period. Because her body's going to change. She's already going to be insecure about it. So if you say anything at all negative about it, you know, it needs to change. It has to stop. But you make it through that portion. The baby's here. A lot of work with the brand new baby. A lot of work. The different hours the baby needs to be tended to every 2 to 4 hours. Something's going on. Fed, changed, held. What's going on in real? So, y'all make it to that point. Now, when the baby comes out, the woman's body has changed, and y'all have all these reasons to do what? Get into it. She's moody. She may be going through postpartum. Most men don't even know about postpartum depression. I know I didn't. My second child's mom had to tell me about that. So I'm talking about, like, there's just so much that men don't know, ladies, about what you go through after you have that baby. No one's telling us. Y'all talk about sex education in school. In sex education, no one's telling them young boys that after she delivers the baby, you know what I'm saying, she's going to be depressed because that baby was a part of her for 9 to 10 months. That's difficult psychologically to deal with. Caring for themselves was different than caring for the child outside themselves. So even the care for the child now is different. No one's telling us this, ladies. See, all these reasons to get into it. The woman that doesn't look the same, she doesn't feel the same about herself, the child, or the man now. So those are crucial moments. So y'all split. Y'all split. Now this child really doesn't know the dad the way it knows the mom, because it wasn't a part of the dad. So with the father gone, now the child starts to grow and develop attachments to really whatever, leadership or adult figures is around the child, right? So what does that mean? that child's already going to be raised with a hybridized mindset. A mixed family is a hybrid of the original nucleus, the nuclear family, right? So, we that's why I'm now consulting on that, because I was raised differently. When my dad left the home, there was no other man coming in there. Mom kept it or she tried to hide it, but there was no other man coming in there. So the hybridization started when men really started to leave the home. Now we can go back and see how far that was, but it hasn't changed since then. If we say the mid 70s on, men started leaving kids at home and leaving making kids they couldn't afford, and kids just all over the place, but they're not there. The man, the actual biological father isn't there. So then now what happens? Right? What happens next? The hybridization of relationships started back then, and it has continued. 2/3, thanks to my brother that came on here, LT Bourne. LT Bourne is from the islands, everybody. He said 2/3 of all African households there in that country and over here in America are headed by African women, all by themselves, single moms. So young people these days are growing up with a hybridized mentality of relationships. That's why it's a mess. That's why we have the show, You're a Mess. But you're a mess, people, but not it's not really like I'm judging you for being a mess. I just want to, like I say, help you come out of it to avoid more of a mess and to find something healthy. And for many of you, because you were raised like I was not raised, I was definitely not raised in a hybridized mentality. I had to develop and learn that by bumping into individuals who were right. So what I'm saying is that when the mentality of the man just leaving the kids, making children and leaving the kids at home, when I started to get that in my, so as soon as I had kids, bam, there it is. Now I'm hybridized. I'm hybridizing everything that I'm doing. And what I'm saying to you is that I'm okay with that. I shouldn't have ever been, but I was okay with hybridizing the relationship or allowing my child to go up in a hybrid, even though I didn't. Even though when my mom, my dad left, okay, now it's a different household, but it wasn't a hybrid relationship where I had to deal with other men, being the stepfather or dad figure, whatever, in the home. I had to deal with that. Okay. But a lot of people did. Y'all know who you are. So what I'm saying to you is simply this. I'm not suggesting something new to the people that were raised in it. And I will consult you. Now, y'all thinking, okay, Taib, what are you talking about? Like the Jada Pickett and Will Smith thing? Yes, to a certain degree. Whatever, I don't know, what's the best way to put it? Whatever works for y'all. Not just one of you, though, whatever works for both of you. All right. So, fellas, if you want to have another woman to supplement what your woman's not giving you or can't provide or do for you, or whatever the case may be, to stem your appetite, uh, make sure that you're comfortable with her doing the same. Now, this is not she's going out the relationship to leave you as much as she's going out the relationship maybe just because you are. Not that she loves you any less, that she's not going to cook, clean, take care of the kids the way she's been. It's just that if you feel like you need to step outside the relationship to stay in it, let her do it too. Hybrid people, and the kids are good. The kids are good. And because it's an agreement, y'all not arguing and fussing and fighting over the kids. It's a happier home, and the kids never know. They don't have to know. We can have hybrid relationships and phase the hybridization out by not letting the kids know. Why should the kids be a privilege to adult interaction? They shouldn't. That brings up the conversation of age appropriate dating and relationships. What age should the children know that you guys are involved in a hybrid relationship? When they start dating, probably never. Just say, hey, look, do as I say, not as I do. The best thing is to do it like this. This is the best way to enjoy the experience of a committed relationship. I don't know at that point. But I know that right now, for us to stay together, if you continue to say, hey, look, Lanisha, me and your mom, we're involved in a hybrid relationship. And I know you're dating now. So she and I want to sit down and talk to you about this because we want you to know that this is an option. You know, um, the best way to do it to enjoy the fullness of the relationship is to, save yourself for marriage, clearly, have, children and stay committed and raise those children together until they're grown. That's the best experience for them. To give you that experience, Lanisha, me and your mom decided to hybridize our relationship. What do you mean, Ty? What do you mean, Daddy? What I mean is, I felt like I didn't want to cheat on her, but I just felt like I had different needs and urges inside my mind, just messing with me. And I, instead of disrespecting her and stepping out on her, but I didn't want to leave her. I wanted to be here with you. I talked to her and I said, "Hey, let's do it like this." And when she asked me, what about me? I'm like, if you feel like you need to, go ahead. As long as we agree to stay together and raise her to adulthood, because she's good. And that was our decision. So now here it is. Now I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. I get it, but you don't have uh got Mary Kimmel over here on my first comments on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber now. All right, Mary. That's what you think says most men have become sperm donors. So my response to that is it's because women refuse to hold men to a higher, all caps, standard. Oops, I didn't spell standard right, y'all. Standard of commitment before. I want to say this in a classy way. Before rowboating them. Hee hee. Y'all know what it is. So, ladies, men can't, as Mary Kimmel says, become sperm donors if y'all hold them to a higher standard of commitment before you rowboat them. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One thing I don't like with that accusation either is that women act like they don't have the right to say you can't enter in unless you put a helmet on that soldier. What's wrong with that? Oh, I don't like how it feels. What are we saying? What are you saying? Then just don't do it until you have a more serious commitment, like a ring on your finger. Young ladies, older ladies, middle-aged ladies, stop having children outside of wedlock, please. That child think about the child. That child deserves to be, especially in this country. And if you in a different country and y'all live in a mud hut, I can't tell you what to do because I don't know about that kind of lifestyle. But in America, stop. I was born into a marriage, y'all, but my kids weren't. That's what I'm saying of the hybridization of the mindset. I grew up in the smack dab in the middle of the crack era, smack dab in the middle of hip hop that says, F the police and bees ain't shit, but hoes and y'all know what I'm talking about. So the hybridization, the objectify, when we objectify women and turn women into sexual objects, like that started happening on wax. Like you was hearing that in your ears. Two Live Crew, Too Short. When I grew up, women were talked about like they was just, I guess, live blow up dolls, if you want to put it like that. So even though I was born into a marriage, I did not see a reason to marry the woman that I first had kids with. Now, when my first mom got pregnant, yes, I did like say, "Are we going to get married?" Whatever, whatnot. She was like, "Fool, please." That's what she said. Real rap. She was like, fool, please, what you talking about? You know? So y'all ladies, without excuse, y'all can't be like, oh, it's always the man. My first child's mom, when I was like married now, when I found out she was pregnant, she was like, fool, please. We got the glorious, the vaunted, the beloved Emily Sutton in the house. Her on to the stream, her to YouTube, and You're a Mess.
Good
All
evening,
right now.
everybody. What is going on?
Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
Leaving football practice and
Oh, okay.
headed on in.
Who's playing football, if I may ask?
My youngest, Royal, is playing football. So I guess
Okay.
if you come from
Okay.
over here, if I birth you play football. I guess that's how that goes.
Is that how that goes? Cool.
Seems like
That's
it.
what's up.
So what are you
We
talking
got
about
football going
on
on over
tonight?
here too. Oh yeah? Yeah. How about that?
What's the topic tonight?
The topic tonight is why are men out there having kids they can't afford?
Well,
Why are men
I mean,
consistently
I have some thoughts on that because I do not believe that because there are so many people who struggle with infertility, whether that's men, male or female. I don't believe that when a child is conceived that they're not supposed to be here. So, but that does not mean that I agree with the whole overturning of Roe versus Wade. There's a difference there, but I say all that to say that there are so many people who cannot conceive naturally and cannot physically, chemically do it on their own. But that's not to say that men should be irresponsible or women should be irresponsible. But I mean, from my vantage point, because I'm not a man, I can't really say what men are thinking. But what I can say is, um, I think that too many too many men are exposed to the act of it in the wrong way, and because of how they're exposed, it just becomes a thing to do. Um, it becomes a way to cope with whatever stresses or there's all types of aids out here, videos or you know, things to assist you with getting to your next level, if you will. Royal, like for things that assist you with getting yourself to the next level. So you know, uh, I know I was introduced to dirty magazines because my dad was a hoe basically, and he had the stuff all over the house. So I go visit him on the weekends. Guess what? I see all the hustlers, all the playboys, and I just assume that that's how women were supposed to be. So for some young men, um, they get exposed to that maybe through older brothers or whatever, and they don't think about the consequence that goes along with it. Even as they're older, they began to experience those things so young, videos, magazines, whatever. It's not, they're just thinking about the gratification of it, not the long term effect. That's my opinion. And so the long term effect is having all these kids everywhere, but ain't nobody thinking about that. It's not, they're just, those are my thoughts.
okay?
Just raising
So
boys and
before I
families.
before I rebuttal on that, what do you think? This is my second 100 episode, so I'm a lot different now. So let's go ahead. I want to know how you think we could change that and reverse that and try to get some guys to make a serious commitment before they have children, or just not have children so they can actually afford them?
Well, first of all, I think that men need to learn how to connect with their, some men may stay locked into their masculine energy so long that they never understand the balance of themselves, which is their feminine energy. So without the balance of the two, even for women, especially single moms, get so caught up in the day-to-day rigors of raising kids, running the household, whatever the case may be. You never get an opportunity to rest in your feminine energy. So you're always coming across so hard because you got to be hard, because you got to be locked into that masculine energy and be aggressive to get things done. But it doesn't always have to be that way. So I think if more
Okay.
men would,
Okay.
if I think if more men would explore more of that side of themselves from the tantric side, it'd be a lot easier. If you have your extra care card, please scan it now. You caught me while I was out. I'm at CVS.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So my rebuttal to that real quick is simply that a lot of people are still making excuses for individuals that know right from wrong and are still choosing wrong. This month, I'm working on, and I'm trying to put together uh, what it means to be a good man. Last month, I did that for the women. I talked about, I got a definition together. What does it mean to be a good woman, right? Because we should definitely have a norm. Individuals can choose to live outside or think outside the norm if they want to, but we should have a norm, right? We should have a community led accountability factor that we deal with. So um, in listening to you, I just feel like we just have to get to a point where we're comfortable calling people out. And this is, no matter how you feel about Bill Cosby, if you read some of his earlier books and writings and stuff like that, how he used to call African people out for our nonsense. Y'all look it up. Look up Bill's earlier writings. And if you think about some of the stuff that the European power structure tried to do to him with the whole putting him in jail thing, but I'm telling you, Bill had influence, and he was influencing the African community the best he could in a Dave Chappelle way to wake folks up. Right? This is what it is. People do jokes and do comedy, and then they wake up and do things differently. People who didn't know that Dave Chappelle stopped using the N word, you just don't know. If you're just now starting to watch him, you don't know he used to use the N word all the time. He does it now. He said because he did a joke and he used the N word, and European people in the studio started laughing, and he felt some kind of way about that. So people wake up. How do we, I guess, wake people up, wake young men up? Because we're culpable. Ultimately, to have a child, my seed has to hit an egg. So ultimately, a woman has to receive into herself with that. So ultimately, women have the final say. Just like if that child lives or dies in their body. Texas, the law abortions in the state. People went crazy, right? Right? Who can tell
Yes,
her
yes, they did. Yes, they did. But
she
you
can't
can't
do
really,
her
right?
body?
But
So
you,
y'all
but
ultimately, even if y'all do, y'all can change y'all mind. Oops, what you want to act? Gonna go ahead and kill the baby.
well, herein
It,
lies the problem. Herein lies the problem. At the end of the day,
so I'm
what
saying,
are you what are you searching for as a as a as a man? as a young man. There's something that you're searching for, or you feel devoid of, or you feel like you have need of, because sex is supposed to be, it's used for something else. And what it's being used for currently is not, it's not a thing. Stop, boy.
I'm
It's
listening.
not for, it's not for um just procreation. It's actually, procreation is just one part of it, but it's not the main part of it. It's used for manifestation. It's not used just to procreate. Procreation is the manifestation of something else. So manifestation is the whole purpose behind the act. You get with the right individual, that act can manifest a lot of different things from a spiritual level. It is a spiritual act. It is used as a spiritual thing, which is the reason why, I don't care if you believe in Jesus, you're Hebrew or whatever, the marital act of that consummates the union. It seals the deal.
Okay,
That's what
I
it's
hear you.
for. It's a seal. And so with it being a seal and a covenant, that is how precious and sacred it is. So when you're just out here exercising it, you know, not only are you dispensing your energy in places that it doesn't need to be, you're losing a little bit of yourself and gaining some things that you don't even want in the process. And you wonder why people walking around messed up and can't figure out how to get it together.
Have you ever asked yourself? Have you ever asked yourself why men have sex and they have children they can't afford? Have you ever asked? Have you ever just like talked brought that?
I don't
Have
think
you
I
ever
don't
brought
think that
that
they
up?
do it.
Basically,
I don't think that they do it because they want children. They're not doing it for those reasons. That's what I'm saying. I don't think men
so
engage in that activity because they want to have kids. I don't think that's not what they're in it for. Like I told you, it's a situation that's happening at the moment, which is why you'll have a lot of men, unless they're in something committed, even some that are in a committed relationship, didn't necessarily want the child, but they'll deal with it because they're committed. Men are not designed to be, um that's not a man's thing to be, I guess, domesticated and to want. That's what a woman wants. We're supposed to build the house and have the kids and do all that. That's what we do. That's what's innate. That's what's in our
okay,
nature. That's
okay,
what's in our nature.
so that's so the conversation quickly went to gender roles. I'm cool with that. I'm totally fine with that. But what I'm asking you is from a fresh perspective point of view. I'm talking about just something fresh. I'm talking about just something fresh. What I want to say is when I say why are men having kids they can't afford? And you know you broke. Why is you
Well,
putting that stuff at risk to be
well,
in that situation? Like why?
well. A woman who lays down with somebody who cannot even financially take care of himself is being irresponsible herself. Like, what did you expect? Then it becomes then it's on the woman. And that's not to say, okay, make sure you lay down with somebody
I
that got
mean, I
something,
mean,
but
so
because they're boys, if you really want to know, they're
well,
boys. These are just boys doing these things, but there are some grown
so
men doing it too.
I guess what I'm trying to get to is that like, I mean, ultimately, have I'm saying ultimately, so right. So ultimately, women have the decision of whether that child even lives to term in their body or not. So really, men can plant seed, but they're quickly taken out of the equation on the survival of that child. At that point, I mean, unless they do something they shouldn't do and try to bring that to an end. I'm saying if they just chilling and handling their business and they're just like talking to the woman, but she says, "Hey, I'm not comfortable with the child or whatever, whatnot, or whatever." Like, what's that movie, Coach Carter? So in the movie Coach Carter, Ashanti, he's giving her a hard time, and she gets rid of the baby. You remember that? You watched that movie? Have you seen it? Remember?
I don't remember that. I remember her being in it, but I don't really remember all those details about the storyline.
So we have the movie Coach Carter, Ashanti, the same, and he says I'm not ready. So to Emily's point, he was just having sex and enjoying the rowboating and all that, but he wasn't thinking about the. He fell back. He was like, "Whoa!" I'm saying, well, what I'm saying is basically for those of you, y'all can check out the movie Coach. What I'm saying is it makes your point though about the mandations of okay, a child will come from this, and if a child does come from this, and can I afford it? You know what I mean? Even though they have the final say about whether their eggs are a man's seed or to carry a child to term. And I'm totally against abortion. I am, but that's just my personal opinion. What I'm saying to you is if we leave it in the men's camp, how can we get men to think about how much money they have in their bank account before they have a child? Like, should we just post it out there? All you 17-year-olds and to 25-year-olds, if you haven't reached your final stride yet, please put a helmet on that soldier. Because this is how much it costs to raise a child from 0 to 18 without government assistance, without stressing the mom. This is how much it costs. Do you got that? Should we have like a drive or a movement or some kind of flyer we put out or something? I mean, because I didn't know. I mean, after I had got divorced from my only wife at the time, like, I was married for like 3 years, but after I got divorced, I started looking these things and looking into these things. So when I had another child, I was engaged to that woman, and I was, I had just started my job. I was on my way to making pretty decent money. I was bringing in pretty decent money, put it like that. So, I knew kind of what it was going to cost and the whole nine. So I'm saying like I didn't go into having my third child not knowing, how much it was going to cost, and I not already having under control what I was doing with my first two children. So I looked at that, get bank accounts for all your kids on your account, all that stuff. So I'm saying, why are men comfortable just shooting it out there and having kids without any idea at all if they can afford that child or not? I'm saying, and then when you have a child, you see how much it costs. Why have more? You see what I'm saying? Like, after
So
that
right,
first one, I'll excuse all you
okay,
brothers.
okay, so could you afford your first one?
Huh?
Could
No,
you afford your
no,
first child? Could you afford your second child?
no. I couldn't.
And then you
No,
decided to have a third. So you had already had two that you couldn't
no,
afford,
no,
but
no,
by the
no, no.
time
Hold on. Hold on. I got married. And me and my ex-wife, we didn't have any children, but while we were married together, we didn't.
okay,
So
right,
when I
okay.
when I left the marriage, so I left the marriage. Then I started making more money. I started my business. So then I had a child with my
Yeah.
fiance at the time.
Okay. Was
Go ahead.
that child that you had with your fiance the third child or the first child?
The third child.
Right. So you already had two you couldn't afford. Then you got a fiance, so now you already had two financial responsibilities. And then you decided because you coupled up with someone and you were going down the path towards marriage to have a third child, but you already had two by your own admission that you couldn't afford. So I think the question you need to
When I
ask
when
yourself
I
these
had them,
questions.
I couldn't afford them. Hold on. When I had them, I couldn't afford them. While I was married, I put my finances up. I was in a better financial position.
Right. But the point I'm trying to make
So so
is
so when I,
your question,
go ahead, go ahead.
your question is why do men have kids they can't afford? You did it twice before you figured it out by the time you wanted to have a third. You already done
Right,
it
right,
twice.
right.
It's under the car. Hold on. gonna get it. Sorry. But that's what I'm saying. So you're by your own admission, you had a child you couldn't afford. Then you decide. Then you had a second one. Did you already swipe it? You already swiped it? Okay. Can we have some extra green sauce? I'm sorry. You caught me at the wrong time, but I did not want to not come on your show. It's okay. Thank you. Thanks. So so again, let's ask you that. So after the first one, you had a second. Different woman or same woman? Different woman or same woman? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, you know
Huh?
that's how everybody do it like that. Trust me,
What we talking?
you
But
know
we talking about you. But we
you're not
talking
making
about
excuses
you
to not
though.
jump on there and give your opinion because you want to know different.
My signal is not good. I'll have to jump
Different.
back in when I get in the house.
Yeah, different. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. It was a different woman. Did mine go out somehow? Is my speaker out? Can you hear me? So all good. It's all good. Got the signal issues going. So all right. Is you're a mess? Let's go. Get it out there. Snapchat, learn how to use some of these things. I'm just getting on different media as I go through the show to let my TikTok fans know, everybody know what I got going on. So yeah, I'm going pretty hard here right now, trying to give them the game. See if we can't go live or something like that. I don't even know how you go live on the TikTok deal, but we'll get it cracking over here. Taibu Muad'Dib, man. So we were expecting to get the I Ain't No Joke Right or Wrong segment. We didn't get the opportunity to get that in, but that's all right. Emily Sutton, she was in my first 100 episodes. She was one of the guests that came on within my first 100, and she gave some good sound bites. Then she's always has a strong opinion. We love to have her on the show. I think the show is supposed to be about like conversation where we talk more about how things can be, not even how things should be, but just how things can be. Right? Let's look at our options. Okay. So at the time when her brought her reception started to go out, she was talking about my individual situation and how things are going. So me bringing this conversation up, I my youngest child is 9 years old. So at 47, my youngest child is 9 years old. So clearly, I can implant a seed in a fertile woman. And I can have more kids. So what am I waiting on? I'm waiting on like she was. I was hoping that letting her get it out. Like what am I waiting on now? You know, if I was to have more kids, what am I waiting on now? I want to be able to afford the child. You know, so if I'm rich, that's cool. I can afford the child, but I want to be there with the child. So the marriage and the riches come hand in hand. If it's the riches, then it's like okay, well, can the mom stay on the compound so I can see the child every day? I don't know how it would go, but I mean, if she want to be together, just can you stay on the compound so my child can be, you know, in the vicinity of me every day, no matter what happens with us, whatever. I don't know how that'll work. But so you want to be married, you want to have a chance to do it the right way. And sorry, ladies, that y'all shelf life is that's gonna come up. We're gonna get into that more this deeper into the fall. You know, y'all shelf life and put that in there, the whole shelf life joint, because y'all have to get understanding for that, because y'all act like y'all bitter because y'all shelf life goes quicker than ours does. Like we have something to do with that, you know. Y'all shelf life, y'all have y'all youth, y'all have y'all beauty. Do the right things with it. Get as much happiness as you can out of it, because when it goes, it goes. It just does. So, you know, a woman's shelf life, you know what I'm saying, is shorter than a man's. So I'm just putting this down, so I be forgetting stuff, y'all. Y'all know I gotta get y'all the good content. The debate. All right, we getting that in there. Taibu Muadi, man, going hard out here. All by myself, all by my lonely. I'm still a great podcasting host. My experience has taught me at least one thing: get to the point. The point is, if I debunk the theory of a high value man as saying that there really is no such thing, right? That's just putting people in the wrong headspace to even say that. A high value man. Just either he's a good man or he's not. Ladies, y'all know the difference. Either up front or down the line, you're going to know if he's a good man or not. I want to get you guys a good definition of a good man, so y'all see the red flags before you have a child by him, before you say I do. Then you're locked in and stuck into a situation with a person that's a chump, that's a simp, right? Someone you ultimately won't be able to respect. Okay, someone that you end up breaking up with, and then there's a whole lot of baggage and trauma for the next guy to deal with, and you'll run that guy off being that scary. That's a sad story. It really is. But man, there's no getting around it. You know, it's definitely on us. It's definitely, if you're a conscious individual, you know that you're not gonna go to McDonald's to buy a Big Mac and you only have the little dollar menu double cheeseburger money. You're not gonna go there and hope that you can shoot them, you know, something you gonna come back and pay them later. You don't go out and do anything. I mean, women go out and expect men to buy them drinks, so all they have is $10 or $20 to get into the club. But they cute, so that, you know, why don't you buy me a drink? They just say it quick. Why don't you buy me a drink? You know what I'm saying? Because they know they came there broke. Or you come there with money to buy yourself a drink in case the brother says, nah, you gonna get your own, and make a show of it. So next time you can get all the drinks bought free. But you make a big show of it. Oh, I'll buy my own drink then. Get away from me. I don't need you. Y'all know the types. Still broke. But go out there, you know, so y'all have that going. But for most things, ain't none of us really going somewhere to go get something cracking, and we know we ain't got enough money to jump it off. The vast majority of us know we're not going to go somewhere to buy something or get something, or to go to a place that costs money to get in and expect to get in without nothing. So men having children and ain't got nothing going on, none of that stuff. You out there having children, like, it's a bad deal. It's a bad look. So when I run the reel, can men who are having children they can't afford be considered a good man? I'm definitely going to be looking to see how that vote goes. And when y'all see my reels out there with the vote, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and vote. When you see the reel out there that has the vote on there, tap the sticker and make y'all vote. Can a man that's out there having kids he can't afford, continuously having kids he can't afford, can he be considered a good man? Yes or no? I want y'all to vote on that. All right. Make sure that y'all do that. That's what's important. All right. One way or another, make sure that that's what's happening. So we can go from there. That's all I'm saying. We can go from there. Taibu Muadi, you can look me up on YouTube by name TAIBUMU''ADDIB, or you can look up the show by name. You're a mess. This is what I'm doing right here. I go live 7:30 tomorrow. Who fucks with me? Let's go. We're gonna get it popping. I'm just posting stuff. Gotta just keep posting stuff. Gotta keep it cracking. So you already know what the deal is, man. It goes down. I'm just making these TikToks and so folks know what's going on. Trying to get a little bit of something happening. It is what it is. So even though we didn't get the right or wrong segment of the day, we had a special guest. Even though we didn't get to the 5 minutes of fire, I was able to put out some content out there for you and drop some knowledge and some science on your head. Here's the thing: if you want to become a guest show, when I'm promoting and you see the reels and stuff like that coming out, DM me, inbox me, request the special guest link. I can have a couple of people on here at the same time. We can get on here. We can have a good, friendly debate. All right. We don't do any cursing. We don't talk vulgar, but we have good debates. I want to hear your thoughts about certain things because we have to establish a new culture. The culture out there right now, the crazy part about it is the toxic stuff gets views. That shows that y'all mindset is all off. The toxic stuff get views. Kevin Samuels, great man as far as what he accomplished, if you want to look at that as greatness, but his show was toxic. It was full of toxicity. Women couldn't stand him, this like that, whatever, whatnot. Women said he got what he deserved by his untimely passing because his show was so toxic. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your goodwill spoken ill of. That's the bottom line. So I'm saying right here, right now, like you all know, the real speak up for itself. And the bottom line is we have to come up with this definition of what a good man is because women deserve to know. You grown boys out there need to know the difference between being a grown boy and a real man. You women out there that think y'all have it all together, but y'all really still just running around allowing grown boys to have access to the womb, as my man Darius would say. It doesn't make any sense. Please stop wanting to be treated like queens, but reserve the right to go out there and be undercover rowboaters. You know, compulsive liars. Fellas, step your game up, build your value up, then approach these sisters and maintain them. We're going to get this thing together. This fall is going to be explosive with the reality TV show. Shout out to China Gray out there in DC, my man Tony Big Walls out there in DeSoto. My man Devontae Howard Studios on Instagram at Howard Studios Official, and my man Robert Parsons Black Magic Studios for jumping in here, man, getting it going. When that thing gets going, don't try to be my friend then. Like y'all was, don't try to be like, oh, I know you. Like, nah, I was on your show. Nah. Come on over here to YouTube, man, and Fox with me. Look me up, Taibu Muad'Dib, by name or by the show. You're a mess. This is what we're doing tonight. That is my time. I'm out. Had good comments over here. Good to go. Good comments over here. So, even though we didn't get this together real quick, had special guests. Even though we didn't get to the 5 minutes of fire, I was able to put out some content. Best of your mess. This is what the behind the scenes looks like, y'all. Just so y'all know. If you want to become a guest on this show, the promotion of this show is important. You see the reels and stuff like that. DM me, inbox me, request a special guest thing. I can have a couple people on here at the same time. Just get some more joint handwriting. All right. Any person, talk vulgar, but we have good debates. I want to hear your thoughts about something because we have to establish a new culture. So what I'm doing right now is I'm making sure that I get out to people what it is, when it is, the whole deal. You're a mess, hosted by Taibu Muad'Dib. You know the deal. So we bring that up there. We get that going. Maybe we'll edit that to get some color in it. Done. Okay.
Women said he got what he deserved by his.
All right, we edit that some more. Let me get some
You know what I'm saying? You don't want your goodwill supposed to build up.
edit that. Let me get this I'll get some parentheses marks put in there. That might make it
the real speak up for itself. And the bottom line is we have to
gotta
go.
go.
Definition of what a good man is because women deserve nothing. You grown
Gotta
boys
go.
out there need to know the difference between being a grown boy and a real man.
All right, there we go.
You women out there that think y'all have it all together.
All right, got that done.
But y'all really still just running around.
Then we got the hosted by Taibu Muad'Dib part, and we go from there. So it says hashtag best of You're a Mess. You're a Mess. Hosted by Taibu Muad'Dib. So it's all about how you put it together. So getting the content up there. I was really glad to have Emily jump on there. She always comes with some fire. Gotta love that. And definitely looking forward to the future of this podcast because I mean it really is necessary. It really is necessary. And we'll do it like this. Monday, get the through sign. Friday, 7:30. 7:30 p.m. CST. All right. Get that done. Get that done.
So, even though we didn't get the right or wrong segment of the day, we had special guests. Even though we didn't get to the 5 minutes of fire, I was able to put out some.
We'll do one more. We'll get the word back to be right. And get it.
Here's the thing.
So I'll put only on
YouTube. Become a
YouTube.
guest on this show. I'm promoting it. You see the reels and stuff like that. DM me, inbox me, request a special guest thing. I can have a couple of people on here at the same time. We can get on here. We can have a good, friendly debate. All right. We don't do any cursing. We don't talk vulgar, but we have good.
There we go.
I want to hear your thoughts about something because we have to establish.
That looks good. So rock that in the description. I'm putting out, and this is what this is how I built the show up. So I'm ready to just start, sending out not a whole bunch of stuff like I used to send out. Just get it going. I can tag like 15 people, so I can just go through some stuff. Just randomly tag folks, I got 15 folks to tag, so I got a lot of friends on here. Following a lot of people, I can tag them in. You can tag people you're following in here. It's good to go. I got 9. Just go ahead and fill it up now. Done at 15. So shoot that out there. So that's how it gets done. So once it uploads, I can shoot that to TikTok, to Snapchat, to Facebook. The drop down comes. TikTok rocks with everybody. That's a good thing about TikTok. So we definitely got that going. Follow Anastasia. She's awesome. People that invested in the show, make sure they get something out of it, man, of my word. This is the behind the scenes footage. I'm doing a little bit extra tonight because I'm going to go ahead and purchase, one of these little packages so I can give y'all, just continue to give out a better experience now. You guys earned it. That's what it is. It's Taibu Muad'Dib out. Let's go. See you tomorrow at 7:30. Box with me Friday. Let's go.